How can I maintain boundaries? You might ask, Damon, what does boundaries have to do with it? Boundaries have to do everything with it, because boundaries end up setting up how difficult things can get. So if you're dealing with someone who you already have a difficult relationship or connection with, and then you don't have proper boundaries, then that person can walk all over you based on how you might be feeling. You might start walking all over them because of the response to it. You might have certain things that you have an issue with that they might not even be aware of because you haven't set those boundaries, or at least you haven't stated them. So number one is to figure out what you will accept and what you won't accept. I'll accept this relative talking loud during the holiday dinner. I will not accept them saying anything about my kids. This is all made up. I love you all, family. But you understand what I'm getting at. That's a boundary. I don't want them to talk loud during the holiday dinner, but they're a loud talker. And actually, I come from a family of loud talkers. But, they're a loud talker. Okay, so that's not something I want. But it's okay. It's annoying. It's annoying. But they say one word about my kids, I'm afraid I'm going to jump over the holiday table, over the dinner table. So I need to set some type of boundaries back to communication with them. Or give them feedback, be like, yeah, I'm not comfortable with you talking about my kids. Why don't you talk about something else? And look them dead in the eye or whatever. It seems to work for me. But whatever works for you, figure that out. But you can't have those conversations, those crucial ones, until you know what exactly your boundaries are. And then once you know what your boundaries are, then you can start to state them. Now, if people start disrespecting your boundaries after you stated them, then you got to have the rougher conversations, and or all bets are off, depending on what the situation is. But at least you respected them enough to be like, yo, you're crossing the boundary. And I've had some conversations with loved ones, people I care about, even people I work with, where I've said that to them as far as boundaries, and they didn't even realize they were crossing it. And I was like you didn't, and they're like, no. And I was like, are you serious? And so I was thinking, oh, they're doing this stuff on purpose because they're disrespecting me. No, actually, not only were they not disrespecting me on purpose, they didn't even realize they were doing it. Again, get you a therapist. Shout out to Dr. Jackson. You know what I mean? The shirt link is below. That's what helps with that. It could be meditation, it could be journaling, it could be getting a therapist, but some way to have that self-awareness so you know how you're showing up. I could have a whole extra episode on that, but check out last week's episode about shadow. The link is right below. There's also mini episodes or clips from it now that I'm starting to do it, Bring Your Worth TV. So if you don't watch that whole episode, find out the 2 or 3 questions, the subject matters that matter the most to you from that episode. You can check them out at Bring Your Worth TV. Have a good 5-10 minute session with me. See what's happening, and then see what's going on in the comments too. The second part about it, again, you want to make sure that it's loud and clear. So it's not enough to say, I have this boundary, I have this want, I have this need. You also have to voice it to the other person. Can't emphasize that enough. All right. Book recommendation of 48 Laws of Power. I lent it to someone, and then someone took my power. I have no idea where it is. Shout out to 50 Cent. I don't know where the book is. I don't know. It's been missing for a while. I might as well just cough it up and get a new version of it. Whoever has it, well played. Well played. I hope you're making use of the laws. 48 Laws of Power, really simple. Best-selling book, millions sold. I think it came out, God, that's to be 20 years ago. I'm thinking about where I physically was when I got the book. And I think I was living in New Orleans. I was in New Orleans during Katrina. That gets you how far back this book was when I read it. And I think it was an old book back then. So I want to say it's about 25 years old. Shout out to Robert Greene. He's had some health issues. I hope you're doing better. And I love the work that you're doing on YouTube. Definitely check out his stuff. Remember, it's Green with an E. Fantastic book. It's a long book, but each of the 48 laws is only about 5 to 10 pages. Awesome audiobook, by the way, too. When I did my last road trip, I listened to it. These 48 laws are about how you can empower yourself in any situation. I'll mention one of them, which is my favorite, is, I always have a different favorite, but plan all the way to the end. If you want a certain outcome, work backwards from there. Shout out to Stephen Covey or Stephen Covey and all these other folks who have talked about that. But working your way backwards. So if you're setting boundaries, and if you have a particular relationship with a certain person, you're like, I don't want to be hostile to him anymore. I'm tired of us arguing. What does that relationship look like? And then work backwards from there. If you start getting upset when they're crossing your boundaries, then working backwards, obviously you need to state what those boundaries are. Now, if they don't respect those boundaries, then you guys go into a different category, like I just said. That goes into planning all the way to the end. If you want to understand the direction that you're going in, then you have to know where actually you want to go. Otherwise, you can't get upset when you still have that same basic, frankly, bad relationship with that one person. That's just one simple one. Speaking of power, one of my favorite episodes that didn't get a whole lot of shine when it came out, it was about 1.5 years ago. I Am the Manager meme. If you're familiar with the meme, you know what I'm talking about. If not, you just click on the video and you know, if you're familiar with internet culture, you know exactly what it is. It's basically saying that you are the manager of your life and you are setting up everything. And so if you change the dynamics and if you act differently and you show up differently to those so-called difficult people, they have no choice but to show up differently or to leave your life. That's it. The saying, it takes two to tango, there's a reason for that. If you start doing the cha-cha and they're used to doing the tango and you're determined to do the cha-cha, they're going to have to adjust. And it's not even a power thing as far as like you're going to take control over them. It's more about you really taking control over you. That's all I got to say about that one. And so if you're not, I talked about this in a previous joindamon.me newsletter. Again, you can go to joindamon.me, where I talk about self-regulating and over-regulating. If you're regulating yourself properly in a way that works for you, and you're as cool as a fan, but you're showing up with thoughtfulness and effort, then other people are going to have to adjust. And that's not a bad thing. Maybe y'all aren't meant to have a relationship, or maybe it's supposed to be more on the outskirts, or maybe they thought you were showing up a certain way and they thought you were being difficult, but now that you're showing up in a quote unquote better way, maybe the relationship improves. There's beautiful power in that. Be sure to check out this video as well as Robert Greene's work. It's been real, y'all. I think we covered a lot of territory. Hopefully it gave you some insight for your next step. Remember, Dr. Jackson, her shirt, Get You a Therapist, my favorite shirt. Go ahead and check it out in the links below. This is Bring Your Worth TV. Come to you every Wednesday at 1:11 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, Vegas time. There's 372 episodes before this. So if you're liking this insight in this game and you're trying to build yourself up as a side hustle or solopreneur, otherwise a non-traditional entrepreneur, please take advantage of it. I'm an entrepreneurial coach. Come over to DamonBrown.net if you want to coach with me one-on-one. And the Bring Your Worth collection is available everywhere, including at DamonBrown.net. Much love to y'all, and I'll see you in a week. Until next time, remember, you can always bring your worth. You can always build from now. Take care of yourselves and others.